Hello and welcome back to O2 Inside Line Live. I'm Hugo Monin and I'm going to be with you right throughout today. Just first I start saying congratulations to our Red Roses who beat France 25-23 to sum up and round up what's been an exceptional year. The Red Roses are currently #1 in the world. So I'm now going to throw to Rachael Burford, who's down pitch side, sweeping up all the reaction.
Yeah, thanks Hugo. Joined here by Poppy Cleall, try scoring nearly in the depth there. I mean, talk us through that comeback.
Yeah, at half-time, Mids told us, we needed more energy around the park and more noise and more communication, and we needed to front up and bring it to them. In the first half, I don't think our forwards were on top. In the second half, in the last 20 especially, it was a completely different story. We were running around the corner, and then when our driving maul worked in the corner there as well, it just gave us that momentum. And I think that once we had that, we never let it go, and we just, kept going forward, and that's what we got the rewards at the end.
And backing up a performance after last week here home at Twickenham, I mean, how important is that for this group?
Yeah, no, it's really important. We knew that it was going to be a really tough autumn internationals with going there away and home, and obviously after last week, I think it went better than expected. But we looked at the film and we decided what we wanted to improve on and do better. And those elements that we didn't really get right again here. And when you've got a week to work on things, is a bit disappointing. But it just showed the resilience we've got as a group to come back and get the result at the end against one of the best teams in the world.
And you got over yourself there. Do you want to talk us through that?
Yeah.
That 20-metre try?
Do you know what? It's the first ever try I scored up a maul, so I feel a bit guilty for taking that one, but it was nice. I think I got the ball on the line out, spat out the maul, recycled again. Amy just gave me the ball, self was in, popped over the line. So it was good to get on the score sheet, but it was a whole team effort as the forwards there, and we know those are the sort of things that when you're 5 metres out in an international game, you've got to be scoring them. They are bread and butter, and as much as we like 20 metre breaks and the offload out the back and stuff like this, we've got to be fronting up and scoring all those opportunities we get, because you never get that many.
It was a pretty good way to end 2020 in an England shirt. I mean, can you sum up being back at Twickenham as well?
Yeah, it's great to be here. When I was walking out after the first half, I did think to my head, "God, it's insane what the crowd here, when they are here, gives you and the lift it does." We would have loved that crowd to be out here the second half cheering us on to get that win. But we can feel them at home. We saw them, all the montages of all the messages we got sent, and the commentator over the stadium sent all the messages as well. So we heard them all, and we can feel the support. So it's nice that when we do play here, there's people at home supporting us still.
Well, thank you so much, Poppy, for joining us, and congratulations again. I'll let you get back into the change room to celebrate.
Thank you. See you later.
Now we're just going to bring in Katy Daley-Mclean. She's on other cam duties.
Hello.
Hello, Captain.
For the day.
For the day. I mean, can you sum that up for us? A big comeback, big
Huge.
First half, big comeback. I mean, what does that say about this squad?
Yeah, I mean, it's massive, isn't it? I mean, when have you ever seen your bench unloaded all at once? And then obviously for them to go on and really put that performance that they did, it is what a squad's performance for me is all about. You talk about finishers and all those kind of terms that are thrown about, but actually that is what you want your bench to do. You want them to come raise intensity and to close a game out, and for those actually to go and win a game.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about the depth in the squad, and there's been some experiment, but how important was it going back to back this? I know we clenched it in the last moments, but how important is it for that squad?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, can't take anything away from France today. They were phenomenal in terms of how they attacked, their defensive line speed. I think they will be probably, when they look back past the result on how their performances improved from last week, it was a very different France side. I think for us, we probably made some errors that actually we didn't really get out of the blocks with the same intensity that we hoped. But actually, like we've talked about, it is going to be the ultimate of 80-minute performance, and that was that today. It comes down to the last minute.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to have tests like that, don't you? Yeah. There's a big year coming up, so you want to be tested, you want to learn these lessons now. I mean, what are you guys going to take away from today and build into the new year?
Yeah, I think that's huge. Like you say, the biggest thing is about competitive rugby, and those games like that don't get any closer than that. I think we've got to look at actually when we get kind of bogged down in the middle of the field, what do we do differently? There's a lot of ball that was played in that kind of in around 22s, 10s areas, and actually probably need to be a bit smarter with how we attack. How do we get ourselves into better shape? And I think probably just about not letting the game get away from us. I think at one point, that game was 23-10, and actually fair play to the girls that came on. They closed that gap, but actually we don't want to be in a situation like that. You always want to kind of be getting your noses ahead.
Well, thank you for joining us, Katy. A special day for you as well, as you become the third most England cap player at 116 and leading your side out. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Thanks. Superb stuff there from our Red Rose, and many congratulations to Katy Daley-Mclean and the rest of her team. Right, Next up, the men. England against Ireland, what should be a fascinating test. And who better to talk us through it than the man from Devon, the most tattooed man in Devon, Jack Nowell. Jack Nowell, who joins us from his house. How are you getting on?
Jackie!
Mate, good to see you. Give us an injury update. How are you feeling?
Feeling all right, mate. You know, I've had a bit of a rubbish injury, what rugby players call them. I snapped my ligaments in my foot and my big toe. So it's a bit like doing your thumb and stuff like that. It's a bit frustrating, but I've had it put back together. I've got a pretty nasty scar on my foot. But yeah, I suppose the hard bit's done now, so it's just trying to get fit and going from there.
And when should we see you back on the pitch again?
I'm doing my best to get back for the Six Nations, hopefully. So hopefully I can get a few games in before. Show Eddie that I can still play rugby and I haven't forgotten. And hopefully I can get picked up and have a few games there.
Smart fella, Jack. Have Christmas off, have a decent New Year's. Eddie, I'm back in business. That's exactly. Mate, I'll tell you what, you're a wise fella. You're a wise fella. I love it.
Mate, if we're talking non-media training here, mate, I'm not going to lie. I look out the window and I look at the weather and it's freezing cold. Christmas time, we've got a Boxing Day game, so you know I would like to enjoy my Christmas Day food, so I don't have to worry about that this year. And then, you know, February time, March, the sun comes out, it starts heating up a little bit, pitch goes a bit firmer, so then, yeah, that's not a bad time.
Mate, you give us wingers a bad name, but I don't blame you at all. Jack, if we're to reflect on just the last few weeks, well, not the last few weeks, the last season, I mean, double champions, European champ as well as Premiership champions, sum that all up.
Oh, it's pretty mental, isn't it? You know, it is very, very surreal. Don't get me wrong, we'd absolutely love to have done this in front of fans. Like if I just look back at the Toulouse game at home in the semi-final at Sandy Park, that would be absolutely mental. It would have been if there was fans there, but still, you know, we've done it. Like we're happy with that. But it's kind of weird now. It feels like it was literally months and months ago because you know, last night we had our first game of the new season. You know, the boys done class. But you know, it's a new season now, so you know, this year we've not actually won anything. So we want to try and go and do it again, to be honest.
Brilliant. I love the way you just changed gear back into that media answer. You know, it's a new season, new challenge. The boys have got to work hard again. Anyway, enough about Exeter Chiefs. Let's talk about England. Eddie Jones named his squad earlier in the week to take on Ireland. Who are the standout names for you, and why are you excited about the team that Eddie Jones has selected?
I think, you know, the way the boys played last week, you know, Ollie Lawrence at 13, I think he's been class for Worcester. He's going to be quite exciting today. I think, you know, there's a lot of names in there that everybody knows. Last week, the weather was terrible against Georgia. I think you could tell that on TV. So, you know, I think it's going to be a bit more exciting today. You know, get the back three, their hands on it. I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, Curry and Unders back there as well, because, you know, the way they played in the World Cup, you know, some of the tackles they put in against New Zealand, and you know the way they've been playing all season. To be honest, I think it's quite exciting to see those boys back together, and hopefully they can hurt a few bodies as well.
Absolutely, and been a lot of chat about Jonathan Joseph moving from outside centre onto the wing. As a wing yourself, that has often played in outside centre. How hard or easy a transition is that?
I don't think it's too bad. I think if you're honest, you look at someone like Manu or Ollie Lawrence, maybe if those boys were to change, I think it would maybe be a bit difficult because their positions and the way they play is a bit different. Yeah. But if you look at JJ, he could be playing, you know, 12, 13 wing, fullback. You know, he'll do the same job as what he does in any position. You know, he'll make his tackles. He's dangerous. He's got good footwork. He's got good hands. So you can see he's played there a few times for England now. And he's slotted in pretty well, and he's done a hell of a job, especially last week as well. If you look at Elliot Daly's try that he set up with Slady giving them the ball at the back, you know, you could have thought he'd playing wing all season. So, you know, to be fair to those boys, they're all dangerous. So you can kind of put them in any position, to be honest. Yeah,
no, I think you're absolutely spot on. But in terms of style of play, you've already referenced them, just having a look at the boys that are out there practicing and getting themselves warmed up for the match. Do you think we'll see a slightly more expansive style of rugby today?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, obviously for me, I play a lot with Henry Slade, and I know what he's about. Again, he's not one of the traditional inside centres of, you know, trucking it up and big carry. He'll do that for England. He'll do that job that Eddie wants him to do. But, you know, everyone's seen his pass. Everyone's seen his slicky hands. And he's dangerous as well. He's going to take a lot of load off Faz as well, I think, which is pretty good. So hopefully we do, because when you've got, you know, Johnny May, when you've got boy Elliot Daly and lads like that outside, they need to get their hands on the ball. So I think Slady could add that a little bit.
Yeah, Eddie Jones earlier in the week said this is England's biggest game of 2020. England against Ireland, that tribalism, you really feel it. The physicality goes up an extra notch, but why does this fixture feel so special?
Eddie always says that, doesn't he? He always says every game you come up against it's your most important game. But it's true, you know, there's no point worrying about what happened last week. There's no point worrying about what happens next week. It is this game, and you know the games against Ireland are always pretty physical. It obviously means a lot for a lot of other countries to play against England, especially at Twickenham. So it is the most important game, like you said. And they're always going to come down here. They played well last week as well, but you know I'm sure there's a lot to make up for from the Six Nations, because that'll be in the back of their mind as well from last year. So you know it is going to be a pretty ferocious game.
Jack, before we let you go and put your feet up to sit at home and watch the TV, give us a score prediction for today, please. Go on. Stick your neck out. 50?
Is it dry up there?
Yeah.
Is it dry up there?
Yeah, it's dry.
It is dry. It's pretty miserable. It is. It's pretty miserable down here. I reckon, okay, if it stays dry, I'm going to go for a 34-12 England.
Ooh, I like that. I think we'll take that. I think we'll absolutely take that. Jack, yeah, I love the fact you're sticking it.
All right, and if it's wet, I'm going to go for a 33-12 England, all right?
I love it, Jack. Jack, it's great to chat to you. All the best of luck with recovery. Enjoy Christmas and New Year's, and we'll all look forward to seeing you back in an England shirt very soon. Take care. Cheers.
Very well hear us.
Thanks, guys. No worries. See you later.
Good man. Well, thank you so much for joining us on O2 Inside Line Live. Don't forget, we're going to be back after the match where I'm going to head pitchside and be speaking to some of hopefully what will be victorious England rugby players. So for now, sit back, enjoy the rugby, and we'll see you after the game.